Over the past 18 months, Everglades, with members of Arrakis Development and other leading energy experts within their fields, have been working diligently to develop an economic solution to help alleviate the current financial strains on the population of St. James and Trelawney Parish, which has been adversely impacted by the cessation of operations at the Long Pond Sugar Factory. The teams have come together to form Arrakis Everglades Power Limited, AEP. AEP has used this time to explore options, investigate plausible solutions, and identify an achievable path for economic revitalization of the industry within the region. The creative solution AEP proposes is a biomass biogas to energy B2E plant that transforms the existing Long Pond sugarcane processing factory into Jamaica's first renewable firm capacity cogeneration power plant. The plant will capture and use thermal energy for biomass drying, produce steam for private sale, and generate 12.5 megawatt of firm electric power for sale into the national grid by using three main indigenous fuel sources, also known as feedstocks: sugarcane, lucina, a small fast-growing tree, and dunder, a toxic byproduct of rum distillation. Only island resources will be used to produce this energy. Critical to the health of AEP, Trelawney Parish, and the surrounding communities is the viability and sustainability of the farmers. For this B2E facility, feedstock supply is at the core, and cane supply is the primary source. No feedstock will be imported. AEP is committed to provide the necessary resources that will support the smaller farmers in producing cane at the quality, quantities, and prices aligned to the viability of the B2E facility. AEP recognizes that the success of the farming community is intrinsically related with the success of the project, and thus, all best efforts will be made to guarantee the success of both the cane farmer and the B2E facility. Arrakis Development is partnering with Everglades Farms to introduce an innovative multi-million-dollar initiative to boost the sugarcane industry here in Trelawney. Business Access TV is here on the sprawling estate of Hamden. I'm Leroy Hall. Stay with us. I'm here with the Chief Executive Officer of Everglades Farm, Mr. Andrew Hussey. You've been involved in the industry for 6 years now. Talk to us about the inception of Everglades Farm.
The farming really started with my grandfather, Otram Hussey, who was a dairy farmer. He produced some of the first pasteurized milk in the island. And my father continued in that business. And in the early days after leaving school, my father was at the Monimus Sugar Estate. That was really where the love for sugarcane started and farming for him. And in more recent times, in 2009, the opportunity to purchase 2 sugar estates and get into the cane business came up, and of course it was like a dream come true for the family, so we went into it.
Talk to us about your perspective on the industry.
The sugar business, I must admit, has been an eye-opener for us. The sugar factory operations in terms of expenditure over the first 3 to 4 years, we spent 3 times what we originally anticipated in retooling the factory and the fields, and it all unfortunately came to a point in 2015 when the sugar prices plummeted approximately 32% from the previous year. The operations no longer became viable. which left us with no choice to close the sugar factory.
And it is now at this point where you're considering to partner with a foreign investor, Arrakis Development. Talk to us about that.
Yes, as I was saying, we closed, and in the face of adversity, we have to find a solution to a very big problem for us and all the 900 employees that we have at Long Pond and Hamden estates. The last year and a half we've been working with Arrakis Development to come up with a solution which is primarily using sugarcane as the main feedstock and to generate power for the grid is our intention.
Could you give us a bit more details about this partnership?
Yes, it's a very good partnership in the sense that Arrakis Development brings a lot of expertise to the table in areas that we really don't have much experience, which is in biodigesters and power generation. So we are providing the assets that is required, the lands and the opportunity to grow the required feedstock. And they will bring to the table the financing for the project and the know-how, how to make this viable business.
Based on stories you've heard on the news, that this seems to be a dying industry. Are you hopeful that this partnership will help to revive, in a sense?
Yes, I'm very hopeful because it's an ambitious plan, but it has great elements to it. We're not growing a new crop. It's a crop that is known to the parish. The cane farmers know how to grow sugar cane very well, and we're using sections of the factory in our business plan for the crushing of the cane. So there are elements that we both parties bring to the table to make this a great success.
The significance of no. Why no? Why this partnership? Why no?
Well, Leroy, the sugar factory has been closed for last year. The government operated it on behalf of the estate. So there is an urgency to find a solution. And farmers and all interested, connected persons are feeling that there is a solution is required right now, because moving cane to other sugar factories 2 hours away is not a long-term solution. So we need to find an offtake for the sugar cane in Trelawney to benefit the people and the parish of Trelawney.
Mr. Hussey, how will this partnership with Arrakis Development boost the local economy of Trelawney?
Sugarcane farming is the biggest farming industry in the parish of Trelawney. So everyone is connected some way or another to farming in Trelawney. So once we can get to expand the cane fields again, farmers will also do their part and plant cane to supply the facility at Long Pond.
Mr. Andrew Hussey, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us and sharing your thoughts on the industry.
Our pleasure.
That's Andrew Hussey, the Chief Executive Officer of Everglades Farm. We take our first break. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Industry, as it stands, what is your perspective on it?
We want to see more cane plant. That's more farmer can come back in the business, plant more cane, and get more workers and jobs. Because the sugar gone down, and most people just get fed up and gone out of business. Planting the cane, yes, that is very good. But the biggest problem is the factory. When in long time when Hamden was running, we could know that the community, like St. James and Trelawney, could have put on them pot and depend on crop. Now we cannot.
All right, Mr. James, so you're aware that the Arrakis, an investor, will be partnering with Everglades Farm to boost and to expand, the industry. How do you see this impacting you as a cane farmer?
Well, all what I have to say is sound very good, and let's hope we can work and farmers get benefit out of it.
So you're prepared to take advantage of this opportunity that's coming?
Yes, willing to work with them, willing to plant more cane.
What do you hope the industry would evolve into?
We want to see the industry turn around and start employing more people. More people getting job and making money. That are my greatest desire right now. But right now, the whole line of Trelawney come like a ghost town, for nothing and go on. Farmer them, as they reap out the 2 cane and choke cane, nothing and go on. So I'd welcome for the investment, that we can make some more money.
I'm now sitting here with the former Minister of State in Agriculture, Desmond Leakey. Desmond, thank you for taking the time.
Okay, glad to have you.
Yes. Now, let's talk a bit about the industry. You've been involved in the Ministry of Agriculture since the 70s. What? Tell us about the changes that has occurred.
Well, in the 60s, Jamaica used to provide about 500,000 tons of sugar. In the 70s, we maybe went down to 300, and it gradually, partly because a lot of farms come out. Grazing came out in St. Mary. Hanover came out of cane. A lot of areas come out of cane. And then price has been a problem. There was a time when we had a guarantee price and a guarantee market in the EU. Now we have a guarantee market but not a guarantee price. Inputs have increased, price has not gone up. There was a time when, many years ago, when 5 tons of sugar could buy a tractor. Now I think you might need about 20, I don't know what the price is.
Right.
Fertilizer has gone up and so on. And maybe the price of cane hasn't moved. The price of sugar hasn't moved with inputs.
So what would you say has caused the slump in production of the sugarcane?
Farmers have moved out to more lucrative agricultural production. And again, another area is workers. The amount of workers you used to have in sugar industry, no longer have it. That's why the industry moved into mechanization.
Mr. Leakey, you were born and raised here in Trelawney, and you're passionate about your parish. You've seen the changes over the years. Tell us how the communities within Trelawney, have been impacted.
Well, the community in Trelawney has been greatly impacted negatively by the downturn in sugar. I've seen in my time, well, at one time here, Trelawney had 100 sugar estates. It now has 1. I mean, I saw Bay Royal close and merge with Longpond. I saw Green Park close and merge with Hamden during my time. My father was a distiller at Green Park Estate. So a lot of land still exists in the area. Any investment comes is going to be welcome. But as I said, as far as cane is concerned, the price for the cane is going to be what pushes it up because of the fallout and the transportation. Because when one factory closes, the transportation to other factory increases.
Now, Mr. Leakey, you are aware of the partnership between Arrakis Development and Everglades Farm, to boost and expand the the sector. How do you think this will change or transform the sector going forward?
The product that is going to be produced must be able to generate as much or more to the farmer. If it's going to generate less, the farmer is not going to be interested. So you'd have to have a system for the farmers in which you assist the farmers in order for them to come in. Now, if the price is right, then the farmers will come in, because it's going to come down to what the price for it is as against to the input. One of the areas that in speaking to them, that interests me is the use of dunder. All distilleries use dunder. Dunder is something that the NEPA environmental people are worried about storage and danger of, and they plan to use all the dunder that is produced. Now that is, to me, a good sell, if that is so. But that is where my major interest in talking to them, that excites me, because you have a distillery at Appleton, you have Monimus, you have Hamden here, you have Langford, and you have Verde Park. And if you can, all of them have to store the dunder. Now, if you can safeguard the environment by using the dunder for other use, then that's a plus for me.
Thanks for staying with us. We now continue our special feature on the partnership between Arrakis Development and Everglades Farms. I'm now here with Brian Tambro and Ansel Zarato. What is your role in this partnership with Andrew Hussey of Everglades Farms?
I've been supporting the project technically from day one, and always have had a passion for waste-to-energy projects. We surveyed the type of crops within Fulani, and we quickly determined that we can enhance the amount of sugarcane that is produced today, reverse the decline of sugarcane production, complement it with other vegetation such as Lucina, which I can expand upon, and furthermore solve another problem called the disposal of dunder. And almost every Jamaican knows what dunder is. It's a legacy issue that the distilleries are dealing with, each and every one of them in the country. And if we could mix dunder combined with a new crop called Lucina, combined with increasing production of sugarcane, and excite the farming community to embrace this biomass, then the biomass is sufficient to generate power. And that really is kind of the exciting technical part of this venture.
Now, Mrs. Zarato, just for clarification, could you elaborate on what dunder and Lucina is?
Let me do the Lucina first. The Lucina is an indigenous plant that does exist in Jamaica and also several other Caribbean nations. But it is a plant that, if you allow it to grow, will grow to heights in excess of 20 feet. It has good calorific content, it has good energy content, and it's just a species of plant that can be used optimally because it grows quickly. Cane grows very quickly, so does Lucina. So we tried to select a plant that was tested in this environment before, indigenous, it survives. It's hardy, it grows quickly, and it's been used in other anaerobic digestion plants around the world. So you're picking something that's stable and can be supported. Dunder, the distillers know what dunder is very, very well. It's a byproduct of the distillation process, either through column distillery or pot distillers. It's the residue that accumulates at the bottom of these processes that's very difficult to dispose of.
So explain to us, what is biomass?
It's any sort of organic vegetation. It can consist of sugarcane. All around you is vegetation that has some sort of organic content that can be converted to energy. What's unique about what we're doing is the manner in which we are optimizing the sugarcane, which has been here being produced for hundreds of years, and new crops such as Lucina. So a green substance, whether it be sugarcane or Lucina, has a certain amount of energy content stored within it. The trick is to release that energy in a fashion that is safe and optimal. So in this particular circumstance, we are taking these three products, biomass, Lucina, and dunder, and putting it through a plant, which then extracts the energy and produces power.
How soon can we expect, this investment to take effect?
The first step is to get approval from the government to negotiate the power purchase agreement with GPS. That's the position that we're in today.
The one clarification that I want to make is that from Arrakis development side, we are comfortable if we need to be to go into a tender for a bid. But the situation that dictates the economic crisis facing Trelawney is why we are seeking government approval. With our partner at Everglades Farms and the situation that's faced and the economic, I would say, collapse that has happened, and it's imperative that we move and we move fast so that the benefit can come across, and that investment towards the community will occur upon financial close. And the thing that we have, that's part of our company and what we really pride ourselves on, and we've done collectively in the past with our other companies, is the success of our project is intrinsically linked to the success of the local community. So we believe in Trelawney, we believe in the farming community, we believe the impact that this will have. There's a lot of firsts here, and particularly the use of the dunder, and then possible expansion. So we're not looking to put in this plant and walk away. We're not looking to put in this plant and leave the community. We would actually look to expand upon it over the years. Happy to compete in the bid processes to add megawatts to that plant and look at other opportunities that come about. So really for us, it's a long-term play. It's economically beneficial for all the parties involved, and there's a short-term impact to the local community, but the long-term impact as well, I think, is strengthening the local community, strengthening the island's resources, economically beneficial for Arrakis and Everglades and our joint venture. And we have made a commitment in our proposal to create an adult education training facility, both for the adults for training on new technologies and an education facility to bring in primary school children to teach them about renewable technologies, to expose them to what they can do with the local vegetation, really kind of get the population thinking about power in a different way.
Brian, recently the government of Jamaica approved contracts for solar energy. What's the difference between that and your proposition?
You're right, that's a great question. There's a big difference between solar and biomass, and that solar is an intermittent renewable. Solar, wind, they operate when the sun is out. That's when it generates power. When there's no sun, the battery storage technology is not there yet, it's not operating. Same with wind. When you have the wind coming in, you have wind generation. When the wind is not there, there's no power generation. So when you have that on your grid and on your system, it puts a little bit of a stress about how you balance off when they're offline. And that is intermittent power. Biomass will be firm power, which means there's no downtime. We will, of course, have scheduled outages as any operational facility has, but we'll be operating 24/7 for 12 months out of the year, which will be the first of its kind here in Jamaica. And one thing that I want to stress about our plant is that we will be the first plant, and I hope not the only plant, that our fuel is the feedstock, and it's completely local. It's indigenous to the island. So we are not importing anything to support this project, which I think is a landmark shift in how we're thinking about power. And the old adage about thinking globally, acting locally, that's what we're doing. And the stress is that this is a sustainable fuel supply. The feedstock can be cultivated, grown, and reapplied. And we do this over the next 20 years, and as we see more and more results, we can put different types of expansion ideas on the facility or do similar type facilities throughout the island.
Thank you again, Brian and Anzo from Arrakis Development in partnership with Andrew Hussey of Everglades Farms.
And that brings us to the end of another BATV special. Until next time, I'm Leroy Hall.